Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the first semi-final of Robot Wars Armageddon Rebirth Series 2. We have 6 semi-finals who battle his way through the heat. Let's see how they got this far. Atlas managed to get through their heat after beating the reigning champions Cassius 3 after Cassius 3 foolishly self-righted into the pit. Some will say they might be lucky, but they are a tough machine. Watch out for Atlas in this semi-final. Meanwhile, the number 3 seed Stinger had absolutely no problem disposing of Exterminator with ease. The Whirling Dervish returns for more destruction. Mighty Morg had a bit of a surprise victory up against Pinky after flipping them on their end. They couldn't self-right from there, and they were left to the drop zone and the floor flipper. Meanwhile, Chaos 2 had an even bigger surprise victory, managing to take out our number 7 seed Spines by flipping them out of the arena. They're flipping fantastic this time around. Killer 3, meanwhile, had absolutely no problems disposing of 95, flipping them out of the arena as well, and then having enough time to have a bit of fun with the house robots. Watch out for Killer 3, they mean business this time around. Meanwhile, Toxic Snake came back and surprised us all, beating the seeded Mastrath in the heat. They managed to get through with their CO2 powered spike.
From Norfolk, Atlas.
It's a tracked vehicle, it's 100 grams in weight, and it has a very powerful lifting scoop. Watch out for Atlas. They could be ones to watch out for in this semi-final.
From Lincoln and seeded number 3, Stinger.
The Mighty Mace's Stinger. It's 100 grams in weight, and it's very, very dangerous with that deadly waste, and it's very quick at 18 centimeters per second as well. They're the number 3 seeds. Can they go a bit further this time? Only time will tell.
From Swansea, Mighty Morg.
They performed well in the heats, managing to get a bunch of KO victories. They've got a very powerful flipper. They've got a lovely rollover design as well, and they're very well armoured. Could be a dark horse in this semi-final.
From Ipswich, Chaos 2.
Unseeded this time around, but they are a very, very impressive robot with a very powerful flipper. They're very quick, they're very agile. Watch out for these guys this semi-final. They could cause a few upsets along the way.
From Warwickshire and seeded number 9, Killer 3.
The most successful team in Robot Wars Armageddon history. They return back with their double flipper. They're the number 9 seeds. They dominated their heat. They mean business this time around. Let's see how well they do here in the semis.
From Lancashire, Toxic Snake.
Former runners-up all the way back in Series 26 of the original Robot Wars Armageddon. They haven't really had much success outside of that though, but they're back again, making it to a semi-final, and they've got their dangerous stabbing spike. So this is how the layout of this semi-final works. We have Killer 3, the number 9 seed versus Toxic Snake, Mighty Morg versus Atlas, but first, the number 3 seed Stinger versus Chaos 2. Let's get to the arena.
Roboteers, stand by. 3, 2, 1. Activate.
Stinger are the obvious favourites in this battle because of their mighty mace, but do not count Chaos 2 out. They took out Spines earlier on in this series, a very similar design to Stinger. A big, huge, spiky thing on wheels, that was, and they managed to get them out of the arena, so they could do the same with Stinger, but Stinger is just such a dangerous machine. They've done so much damage this series already, and they hope to do more. They seeded 3 this time, and they came 3rd last time around. They also came 1st in Robot Wars Armageddon Series 29, the last series of the original RWA, before it was rebooted into Rebirth. They're a very dangerous machine, and a very well respected machine as well, but so are Chaos 2, legends of the original Robot Wars, multi-time semi-finalists in Robot Wars Armageddon history. Do not forget that. They also won the first ever series of Robot Wars Great, if I remember correctly, the American series by Robot Boys, I think that's what they're called. Meanwhile, there's some mace once again of Stinger. Good battle this so far, very tactical. Both of them just feeling each other out here. They're really trying to get a hold of each other, but that was a good shot there by Stinger. And another one. They sent Chaos 2 slamming into the sidewall, and again. And all of a sudden, Stinger picking up the pace here. They wanted to feel out Chaos 2. They wanted to make sure that they could get a hold of them, and they definitely are bashing them around now. And all of a sudden, Stinger, slowly but surely becoming on top for me. Up and over go. Chaos 2 now flipped over by Brick, and I'm just wondering if Chaos 2 can self-right here. They seem to be stuck, and I don't think they can self-right at all, and they've gone down the pit of oblivion. That was a good shot there by Stinger. Sent the Chaos 2, the defeated Chaos 2, sliding across the arena and into the pit. Chaos 2, they lose that battle. They can fight for redemption though in the losers melee. Next up, it's Mighty Morg versus Atlas. This should be a good fight, to be honest.
Roboteers, stand by. 3, 2, 1. Activate.
hard to pick a favourite out of these two. Both robots have got very effective weaponry and they're both very effectively designed machines. Look at the size comparison of the weapons though. Atlas has that huge lifting scoop. Meanwhile, Mighty Morg has a little wee flipper, but it's a very effective wee little flipper. It's also a very effective design. It's got that rollover design, which means it can't really be flipped over very effectively, but it can flip other machines over very effectively. And it's not just there, look! Flipping Atlas up and over, getting underneath the tracks. That was a good attack there by Mighty Morg, and good driving. Able to get around the side and flip them up and over. And I think Atlas are done for here. They haven't got a stream mate this time around, and they are currently in a lot of trouble. They can't self-right. The lifting scoop trying to do something, but I think it's all over for them. Yes, in comes Brick. The house robot's come out when the robot's been immobilised for too long, and it's definitely been signified that it's been immobilised for too long. In comes Nail, crunching down on the base plate of Atlas, and Atlas are done for here. That was a good performance there by Mighty Morg. They started a little bit sluggishly, but they were able to come back strongly and flip Atlas over in one foul swoop. Down the pit go Atlas. They're going into the losers melee, but Mighty Morg, the story's about them. They go through to the next round of this series semi-final. And I'll tell you what, they could be dark horses this time around. Atlas, they're going to face Chaos 2 in the losers melee with either Toxic Snake or the number 9 seeds, Killer 3.
Roboteers, stand by. 3, 2, 1. Activate.
So who will win, Toxic Snake or Killer 3? Money bets, all bets have to be on Killer 3 for this one. The number 9 seeds, they're back this time around better than ever before. Very powerful, and nearly had Toxic Snake out of the arena straight away there. But now they're in the CPZ, but they're going to get out. They're flipping Toxic Snake over again, but Toxic Snake is invertible. One of the few robots that isn't really affected too much by the flipping power of Killer 3. Then again, let's be fair now, with the power of Killer 3's weapon, no matter what, if it's invertible or not, you're going to be affected by the flipper somehow. That weapon is just so strong. They've come back so much more improved since the last wars. They are desperate to win a title again. They've won so many championships in the past, but they've never won a televised series. The last series they won was way back in Series 25, I believe, I remember correctly. Series 25, which was the penultimate series of What Was Armageddon to not be aired, and they throw it up in the air, but they land on their side. Now, can they get back from there? They've just flipped themselves. Oh, panic there for the Killer team briefly, but for me, they're doing all the work here. Although, don't count Toxic Snake out just yet. Oh, especially now. I was going to say, they've got that spike and they're using it to good effect, but goodness me, Killer 3's flipper has just snapped off. And now, that must make Toxic Snake the red-hot favourites now. They're in all sorts of trouble, Killer 3. Without that flipper, they haven't really got much going for them. Toxic Snake have definitely got the more pushing power, and they've pushed Killer 3 into Karma's CPZ, and Karma's going to pluck them up with her grabbing, crushing jaw. Meanwhile, Toxic Snake is upside down, so they can't really bring that spike into play either. And I tell you what, the tables have really turned here though, and if Toxic Snake can just stay out of trouble and keep on them, they might just manage to snatch up a surprise victory here, because they're definitely winning on damage points alone. Remember, strategy, control, damage and aggression are the key points. Toxic Snake now being pushed into towards the CPZ. That's good strategy there by Killer 3. They know they haven't got a weapon anymore, so they have to bring back strategy into it. But how much longer can they last without that weapon of theirs? Toxic Snake trying to use their weapon as a sort of lance to sort of knock Killer 3 askew. Try and knock them astray. They're in the CPZ again though with Nail. Now crumpling down on them again, but letting them go. Now can Toxic Snake come back here and really cause an upset? Do enough to really gain points? Or are they going to really ruin this opportunity of theirs? They're using that mace as a sort of, that spike as a sort of pendulum. Oh! What happened there? The full flipper just broke. Oh no! And I think we're going to have to go to the judges on that one. We are. So who are they going to go for here? I'm not too sure. They've gone for Toxic Snake. What a huge upset. Killer 3. The number 9 seeds, they lose the judge's decision and they have to go into the losers melee where they're going to face off against Atlas and Chaos 2.
Roboteers, stand by. 3, 2, 1. Activate.
My, that is a surprise. And meanwhile, Atlas immediately flipped up and over there by Chaos 2. They've been righted again though, but Atlas I think are up against it here. It's 2 flippers against a robot that can't self-right. And if they've been flipped up and over there once again by Chaos 2, there's Killer 3 flipping them up and over. They're very nearly in the pit there, Atlas as well. But now Killer 3 coming in on Chaos 2 and flipping them up and over. For me, it's between these two who are going to win. Will Killer 3's flipper survive this time? It broke off in the last battle. That was key, and that's why they lost the judge's decision. Some people didn't think that was a correct decision, but, well, there you go. Decisions are final in Robot Wars. Armageddon and up in the air went Chaos 2. They're very near out of the arena. I think Atlas are done for here. They haven't moved since they got flipped back over. I think they're stuck on the pit, to be honest. But if a robot is stuck on the pit for too long, it is classed as in the pit of oblivion. And well, in comes Katrina just to confirm the story, really. Down go Atlas. That's a shame for them. Well, and then they got all the way this far. They did well to get this far, to be honest. And now Killer 3 flipping Chaos 2 up and over. So it's between these two powerful flippers to see who will continue in this series and who will be left out. Out of these two, I couldn't pick a winner at the moment. Both machines have been very powerful. They've both got good attacks in on one another. Killer 3 will want to win the championship again. Like I said, they haven't won a championship since Robot Wars Armageddon started being televised back in Series 27. They haven't won one since Series 25 to be exact, but they really want to win a televised championship, Killer 3, and who can blame them? They've always come back, they've always been a strong performing machine. Then again, so too have Chaos 2. They want to win their first RWA title. They haven't won a championship yet, despite so many competitions they've entered, and they've entered ever since Series 12. So they've definitely entered a few series, but they're on their side now, and I think Killer 3 know it. I think Killer 3 know that Chaos 2 can't self-right from there. They were trying to edge them towards the pit, towards the side wall so they can get them out of the arena before they get self-right, and they do! Out of the arena go Chaos 2, out of the semi-finals, and Killer 3 performing very well. The flippers broke off again, but it doesn't matter, they win. The number 9 seeds, Atlas and Chaos 2, they are out of the semi-finals, out of Series 2 of Rebirth, and Killer 3 have got another chance, and they're going to take that chance up against Mighty Morg, and then we're going to see Stinger versus Toxic Snake.
Roboteers, stand by. 3, 2, 1, activate.
Killer 3 cannot mess around here. They are up against a very good machine in Mighty Morg, a very good machine that has managed to cause some upsets along the way, and Killer 3 almost lost earlier. They had a very lucky call, they were lucky to get through the last round, and they cannot mess around here against Mighty Morg, but they have a problem, look, because Mighty Morg just self-rights no matter what way you flip it. It will always manage to self-right. The only hope they have is to get out of the arena, and they nearly did there. Mighty Morg trying to get that little flipper in underneath. It's such an effective flipper, that one. It just gets in all the little nooks and crannies and manages to throw robots over. And again, look, it just rolls back over. You can't flip it. Nobody can seem to get it in a position where they can get it out of the contest, but they very nearly went out of the arena again there. And for me, Killer 3 are on top of this battle. It's definitely a case of whether or not Mighty Morg will get that lucky flip in, and that could have been that lucky flip, but no, it isn't. They managed to right them again, but they flip Mighty Morg, they get flipped over again, sorry, they roll back over. Killer 3 really do want to win this one. They want to make it to the grand final. They have yet to make a grand final since, I'll tell you what, this will be the first televised grand final they'll have made, actually, if they do make it through. I just remember that myself. They have yet to make it to a grand final in the televised RWA, let alone win a championship, and they really want it. But then again, so did Mighty Morg, the new boys. Oh, look at that, they've been flipped up and over, and that is a position where they can't roll back from. And now they're in a bit of a suspect position, and it's a little bit too tempting for Killer 3 to not try and get them out, and they have. Oh, Mighty Morg, what a brave performance that was. But they go out, and well done to Killer 3, and they've made their first televised grand final since, well, ever. Well done to them. The number 9 seeds go through. Mighty Morg, commiserations to them, they go out, and now we see the number 3 seed Stinger go up against Toxic Snake.
Roboteers, stand by. 3, 2, 1, activate.
This is a vengeance battle, this one. Back in the last war, Toxic Snake lost in the first round. Oh, to Stinger! After it got a wheel knocked off, and that's exactly what's happened here. That's exactly what happened here. The exact same thing that happened in the last wars has happened again. Toxic Snake, they fought Stinger in the first battle, in the last round, in the last series, sorry. They lost after their wheel got knocked off, and, and it's happened again here. And Toxic Snake, a brave run it was. They've caused upsets, they've beaten Killer 3, they've beaten Master Wrath. But it ends here and now for them, I'm afraid. Immobilized right from the get-go. And Karma plucking up the lifeless corpse of the snake of the toxic variety, and has now been dumped onto the drop zone. And I wonder how much damage will be caused here. Oh, not much, to be fair. A dent here, a scratch there, but it doesn't matter because they're down the pit of oblivion, courtesy of Malfunction. And well done, Stinger, our number 3 seeds. And I tell you what, they could win it this year. They could win another title. And I tell you what, that was a fantastic semi-final. 2 great machines through. Thank you very much for watching, ladies and gentlemen. I've been Anderson9132, and I will see you next time. Goodbye.